Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Picture of Success podcast, a show where we speak to outstanding mid-career professionals who have made their mark at a young age. And in this show, we'll be diving in the journey and the process they go through to achieve success. And in process 2, learn how we can have and achieve our dreams and purpose. And today, in this show, we have Suhana Sidek. Now, Suhana Sidek has over 17 years of experience and is one of the leaders in the renewables industry. And she expands this from her energy experience in oil and gas, where she has the range of experience from technical background working in construction in MMHE Pasir Gudang to management exposure working as a planner and then a business strategist. And while being one of the top leaders and talents in her organization makes her amazing, what makes her outstanding and stand out is her volunteering work, ranging from professional bodies such as Society of Petroleum Engineers, Gas Union, and her NGO leadership in Young Corporate Malaysia, Toastmasters, as well as Red Cresent Society. And in Malaysia Red Cresent Society, Suhana is currently one of the national vice-chairperson, a remarkable achievement in her own right. Suhana continues to be the beacon of women leadership, inspiring many that it's possible to break the glass ceiling. Suhana, it's great to have you in this show.
Well, likewise, thank you, Yazid, for having me here, and thank you for making me sound so cool and great.
Suhana, we've known each other for more than 20 years. But for the benefit of the audience today, why don't you tell us a bit more about yourself?
Yeah, okay. Thank you for that, Yazid. And as you mentioned, I have been with an oil and gas company for the longest time, but decided one day I woke up and decided to go green. So I'm actually into renewable and sustainable development. I am a girl from Kelantan, so both my parents are actually Kelantanese, and we now reside in KL. So I am married to a wonderful, cheeky husband who makes the lamest jokes at home. So they say opposites attract, because I'm very much of not so enthusiastic like him, but yeah. So I guess that's that. And at this moment, I'm a wife and mother to two beautiful children who drives me crazy at times, but they become the source of my happiness in many instances. And as you mentioned, in my third, fourth shift, I do many extracurricular involvement from many phases in my life, from Young Corporate Malaysia, Toastmasters, and I'm now very much active in Malaysian Red Cresent Society, where I'm the first female vice chair and youngest to date. So many interesting things to occupy my time, but I'm excited about every single thing that I do. I'm very passionate about it, and I think I love inspiring and get inspired every single day. Yeah, so that's about me.
Amazing, Suhana. And I believe you have an awesome family, right? You've got a very supportive husband, great kids, and you're great in your career. Now, you got a great career, you got an awesome family, and you do wonders in your leadership, particularly in your Red Crescent work, right? And I believe your work in Red Crescent has been integral in managing COVID-19 and assistance of victims in the recent Selangor flood. This, I believe, takes a lot of time, right? But how do you balance these different facets of your life, right? And still come out amazing? That's something I think everyone wants to know.
Well, you see, life has been quite colorful to me, and you're right. Many people ask that same question: how do I balance? And for me, I'm a strong believer of, instead of balance, but work-life choices instead. So when you talk about balance, it's ideally about, the split is ideal. You need to be 50-50, but that's actually not true for everyone. For me, I think I make choices because I know that I cannot excel in everything. And I do believe that no one is perfect. But I mean, that's my opinion. I may be good at work, but I am really, really a bad cook. And my mother-in-law can attest to that. I may be good in leading a humanitarian organization, but I'm very bad at organizing my own closet. But, people don't see this, but this is where I think support system matters. For me, I have a husband, a family that's very supportive of the decision I make, and I make all the ecosystem around me work so that I can focus and excel on different things. I don't make sacrifices, but for me, I do make choices, and I strongly believe that all the consequences line up with my values, and it is my values alone, and everything else is just noises. So I am not a good balancer, but I do make choices in life, and I do make sure that my work life integrate the values that I choose.
Right. Yeah, I guess the story here is about prioritization and seeing what best you do and leveraging on what others best do to also make that complete life looks much better as a whole value ecosystem, right? And let's talk a bit about passion, right? And I think your passion we can really see your passion is actually in volunteering and community service and helping others. And I believe this has been your defining characteristic, right? You have helped organization connect and make people to be their best versions of themselves, and even the underprivileged to survive and thrive, right? The audience would like to know that how do you actually find this passion, right? And what drives you this extra mile to help others actually?
Oh, wonderful! Thank you for that question, and I do hope, yes, I do inspire others. But maybe if I can just go back to the early part of my life, I grew up in a very humble family. My parents actually moved from Kelantan to give us a better life, and I actually grew up with 9 other siblings, fighting a lot. So either for attention, yep, or if you have a big family, yes, you fight for about anything. So happiness for me growing up was when I was able to actually get my own bed instead of sharing with my sister, and moving from our flat house to a slightly more comfortable small terrace house. So that was the 5-year-old me being the happiest kid around us. We slowly turned our life around. Well, we were not poor, but we were obviously not well off. So I worked really hard to get to where I am today. I went through the very worst in my life. I've ticked off all of the boxes from very young. And every time I think of that, nothing breaks me. I'm just positive that God has been very kind. So when I do my Bulan Sabit Merah volunteering on Malaysia Red Cresent, and I learned a lot about the suffering of other people, it just made me a lot more grateful. And for me to remember the humble beginning I started with, to help others, because I want more girls to grow more privileged like me and turn their life around. So if I can do it, if I'm able to do it with some push and insistence, I do believe that anyone can, right? My passion could perhaps inspire others so that they can actually turn their life around. And it became such a turning point, especially during this MCO, because MCO gives you the opportunity to be more appreciative of life. And I should say not just MCO, but the whole pandemic, the past 2 years. So actually seeing how other people are just coping with life, it's just inspiring for me to actually push and be able to do more. And we may just be living in our home, right? But some people are worried about not having home. We may be bored about having the same food every day, but some people don't even have food on the table. So that just made me a lot more grateful and a lot more passionate to be helping. So yeah, coming back to my root and to learn about my humble beginning.
Right. So it's about, I would say, it's about having the gratitude and knowing what your background is, and that what drives the passion is, right? And you know how hard it is to have a not so privileged life, and seeing that makes you drive this extra mile, I would say, right? Right, and accidentally, I would say you have become a leader by your own right in that sense, right? You've been a leader at the start of your career, a youth leader in Gas Union, one of the early leaders in Young Corporate Malaysia, and you even started your own corporate Toastmasters club 12 years ago, which I was actually the member, and that club has thriving ever since, right? And for those people out there who are just starting this leadership journey, and is there any tips that you can impart to the women and the men in the audience that's just about to have this responsibility of being a leader, to lead a group of people to something better?
Yeah. So if you look at my journey, I would say it's very colorful. And I tend to go out of my comfort zone. So even though I was in oil and gas, but I decided I want to be, with the corporate people. So that's where the exposure in Young Corporate Malaysians came about. I want to be with a lot more professional and older people. So that's where the Toastmasters experience, came about. And yeah, I just want to be grateful about life. So that's where the NGO life came about. So I would say if you are planning to charge your leadership journey, it's about getting out of comfort zone and building your contacts so that you get a wide spread of people and things that you could actually be a lot more involved. And one thing that I learned about having this spread of contacts and building my own network and making sure that my contacts 10 years ago are able to actually help me is about trying everything. And not afraid about failing. I think a lot of leaders they wanted, again, like I mentioned, I'm not a perfectionist. I do things by trying it out many times until I get it correct. So I do try to be a leader.
Right? You need to try and test.
Exactly, and not be afraid of failing. It's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes, because as you grow older, you gain more experience and you become a better leader. I think that's very important. Just try it out, get out of your comfort zone, and network as much as possible. So I think that would be a good trait that can actually help you become very good leader.
I can see it now, right? In the sense that you've tried different parts of the organized leadership at different parts, right? And as you grow a bit in mid-career, all this starts to be you can actually see the connections between one another, and that makes it much more powerful in that sense, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you talk about just go ahead and try, right? To find the passion, you just need to try. You don't know how good you are unless you've tried, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like how you're opening up your own channel right now. So this is a wonderful, courageous thing that I am like, okay, like, oh, salute.
I mean, I've known such great people in my networks, and I felt that I like their wisdom and knowledge to be shared to others in this world as well. So yeah, thank you very much for the audiences who tune in, and also for the speakers who come in. But I've actually got one last question, Sue. Before we just wrapped up, right? Just to summarize the things that we've discussed, right? If you have a choice of words that you like to put on a billboard, what message would that be?
Okay, that'd be interesting when you talk about choices, because maybe the billboard that I would like to put is life is about choices. You make what you want to do, what you want to do, because it's your own choice and it's your own choice to make.
Okay, we talk about choices, our own choice to make, right? All right, that sounds about it, right? Just one last thing, right? So I think for those people who like to volunteer and so forth, I think it's a bit of a bonus question. Is there any way for us to get connected to Red Crescent and so forth, or donations or anything?
Wonderful. So you could actually log on to our website, redcrescent.org. Or you can simply get in touch with me and I'll hook you up in any volunteering opportunity that you would like. I'm available anytime. I love working with more people. I love connecting with people. So just ring me up anytime and I'll be able to actually respond to that. So yeah, come and join Red Crescent.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Suhana. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Suhana Sidek, an amazing mother, a wonderful wife, and not forgetting, she is great in her career and outstanding in her NGO work. So if you want to join a Red Crescent, you want to volunteer, donate and stuff like that, please be in connection with her, or you can always message me in the board below to actually have that PM messages to her, right? I hope you enjoyed this podcast. And Sue, Thank you very much for being part of this podcast. We really appreciate your views and your opinions as well as your sharing.
Thank you, Yazid, for having me. It's such a pleasure. I do hope the podcast will become a lot more successful. And thank you everyone who watched this. And I do hope that you find it useful.
Thank you very much, Shu. It is an honor to have you. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for other episodes of this podcast. I'm Yazid Ismail, your host, signing off from Picture of Success.